Hi everybody, it's February 27th, 2026. The thing about life sometimes is that open ends can cause anxiety, they could cause failing hope, failing faith. Open ends can leave us wanting more answers than what we started out with. And as you get older, you notice more and more that a large portion of life is left up to open ends. We get used to receiving answers way after our part is done. We get used to waiting for answers way after the dust has settled, and as a result, we accumulate an amount of anxiety around events because we're not necessarily afraid of fighting. We're not necessarily averse to putting in effort. It's just that we know that many times when we do our best, we're left with open ends. And the worst thing that we fear at the end of open ends is getting no return no return for our energy, no return for our efforts. So we kind of get an anxiety around taking action when we have been living life with open ends for so long. But the thing that I've learned about open ends is that it's not necessarily that, like how people say you make your own conclusions, you make your own story. That's not necessarily the answer to open ends. What I found with open ends is realizing that's a part of life, and that's just your cue not to necessarily stop doing what you're doing. If you have more ideas, if you have more effort, if you have more energy left in you, if you have more passion, then just keep going and go into something new and wait for the other thing to develop. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't rest and that you should always work and drive yourself into the ground. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have the means to keep on going, even though there's open ends all around you, then just keep going, and things will merge together, things will work out, and there will be a synergy most of the times if you stay honest and if you have good intentions. So this gets me to thinking about your life story isn't a singular storyline. Your life story is stacked, almost like subway stations where there's one level of one subway and there's another level on top or below it, and they all go in different directions. So the first thing I can say about your storyline is stacked is that when you have been doing something for a long time and then it ends up abruptly, and then you have to quickly adjust and adapt and go on a different path, or you're going to lose, or you're going to lose ground, or you're going to let somebody down, or you're going to impede your progress. You didn't jump storylines necessarily, but your storylines are stacked, as I said. You just went up or down another level and are going in a different direction. That storyline that you transcended or descended from is still going on, and you're going to jump in another juncture later, or if not, it's going to be a whole new storyline that has been created by that juncture. And so how do you deal with the stacked storylines where you have so much involvement in the singular storyline that you've been on for a while, and then you're forced to move on? I wouldn't call for just haphazardly changing and adapting. I'm not suggesting that you should let things go so easily and not try to fight for them, but when there's no other way to keep on going in your current storyline and you have to keep on going on, you have to realize that, as they say, life is cyclical. You have to realize the cycle. Yes, you work on something for a while and then you move on and you come back. It comes back around and then you keep on going. And I'm not saying that life is a loop in a sense, and I'm not saying that life is linear either, but it's just that once there is no more to do, once there's no more options, once there's no more foothold, progress to a different storyline, a different passion, and things may come around and you may find yourself back on a storyline that you left a little bit ago. And the second thing I can say about the stacked storylines is that once you have surpassed the threshold certain storylines serve you no further. They would only possibly drag you backwards. Or possibly weigh you down with more content when you need to be light and you need to be fast and you need to start going in a new direction. Yes, we may love a certain storyline. It may have been great to us. It may have been, it provided us with gratification and a sense of accomplishment. But storylines that no longer serve you, they'll die for you. They'll die on you so that you could live on in a better circumstance. And the last thing I could say about stacked storylines is that as the name implies, stacked storylines, there might be two or more storylines going on at once. And if you are living 3 storylines at once or 2 or more at once, and you are multitasking your life, this is a great accomplishment. This is a great feat, but it's not necessarily necessary. If you leave one thing to go focus on another thing for a while, so you could come back stronger to the previous one or all 3 again, that's okay. Strategize your energy, strategize your resources. I'm not saying life is all about gaining and it's all about accumulating wealth and accumulating accolades and accumulating praise. It's not about that. But if you are able to multitask 3 life storylines at once, that's great. If you can only do one at one time, then put your energy and your focus and your best foot forward in that one. And multitasking is great, but doing one thing at one time could yield just as much as multitasking. So I hope this helps. Thanks.